What's driving us to do this is 6.8%. In other words, unions right now have 6.8% of the private sector, and it is sinking. We're in a war and we're losing, which tells me that we need to rethink how we're operating. The simplest way to look at what led us to form the new Lynn coalition is that fact that we do not have the power to win for working people anymore by ourselves. The old kind of paradigm of lobby certain politicians who will do what we want is continually failing now, both because we don't have the power to impact the people that we used to have the power to impact, and because even in the Democratic Party, the center of gravity is moving more and more to the conservative direction, and our really staunch allies are fewer and fewer. Our approach is then to ask the question, how do we build a new majority? We, the remaining part of the working class in a city like Lynn, is not organized in unions, although we do have some density, union density here still, but they may be organized. They may be in other organizations. They may be in neighborhood organizations. They may be in an organization fighting foreclosure. They may be trying to recruit voters in Latino neighborhoods. They may be in faith-based organizations. So our premise, based on 20 years of working as a labor council and as a labor movement in this town, was that we will start with the Labor Council as a platform from which to reach out and to facilitate the organization of the majority. So we ask people the question, if we're the majority, why don't we run anything in this town? And that resonated with people, and based on a lot of trust that have been built up over many years over particular projects, a training program for machinists, a joint registering effort, or maybe with neighbor to neighbor, voter registration, maybe some election campaigns, other things like that. We were able to bring to the table 8 and now 10 organizations who share a long-term strategic and permanent approach, or permanent coalition, to try to impact Lynn and to try to build power for working class people in Lynn and to make Lynn a better place. So the way we look at it, we don't use the term middle class. We feel like that is kind of a harmful and inaccurate way of looking at who we're trying to organize, and that really what we're talking about is bringing together and healing the rift between the upper and lower sectors of working class people. So in this city, it means in certain wards there are homeowners, people who work at GE, maybe building trades, maybe nurses. People make a decent living. If they maybe don't have a pension anymore because they've lost it, they have a 401k. So we want to bridge the gap between that group and the sector of working class people who live in Lynn, who are more likely people of color. If they're in unions, they might be personal care attendants. They might work in a hotel or restaurant back of the house. And they're largely immigrant, or more likely to be immigrants. They're white workers in this sector also. We want to bring those two people together, those two sectors together, and make a force powerful enough to to make this city the kind of city that we want to be in. And that means breaking down divisions based on race. It means addressing those things frankly. It means speaking to what's best in people, and that is the desire to unify and the desire to build power for all working people.